Theodora Goes Wild is a 1936 American romantic comedy film that tells the story of a small town which is incensed by a risque novel, little knowing that it was written under a pseudonym by a member of the town's leading family. It stars Irene Dunne and Melvyn Douglas and was directed by Richard Boleslawski. The film was written by Mary McCarthy and Sidney Buckman. It was nominated for Academy Awards for Best Actress in a Leading Role for Irene Dunne and Best Film Editing. It's often mentioned as a screwball comedy, due to a few of the elements in the story. Prior to this film, Dunne had been cast in dramatic films. Theodora Goes Wild was her first comedy, and while it was reported in a biography of Cary Grant that she was unsure of herself in comedies, this extremely popular film proved to be the beginning of a new phase in her film career as a screen comedienne. Plot: Theodora Lynn is a Sunday school teacher and former church organist in Lynnfield, Connecticut, raised by two spinster aunts, Mary and Elsie Lynn. She also happens to be, under the pen name Caroline Adams, the secret author of a best-selling book that has the straight-laced Lynnfield literary circle in an uproar. The book is serialized in the local newspaper, and the literary circle, led by outraged busybody Rebecca Perry, forces the newspaper's owner, Jed Waterbury, to stop printing the salacious installments. Though Stevenson reassures an anxious Theodora that only he and his secretary know her identity, his wife Ethel pressures him into an introduction, which the book's illustrator, Michael Grant, overhears. Intrigued, Michael invites himself to dinner with the Stevensons and Theodora. Theodora becomes annoyed when Michael smugly assumes that she is a teetotaler, so she orders a whiskey. As the night goes on, she becomes drunk. So does Ethel, forcing Arthur to take his wife home and leaving Theodora alone with Michael. When he makes a pass at her, she panics and flees, much to his amusement. He tracks her down to her hometown and is immediately noticed outside her house whistling. Because she technically is not supposed to know anyone outside of Lynnfield, he coerces her into hiring him as a gardener, thus scandalizing her aunts and providing Rebecca Perry plenty to gossip about. Michael declares that he is going to break Theodora out of her confining routine, ignoring her protests that she likes her life just the way it is. Despite herself, she enjoys herself very much when Michael makes her go berry picking and fishing with him. Finally, she gets up the nerve to tell the disapproving women of the literary circle that she loves him. When she tells Michael what she has done, he is less than thrilled. The next day, Theodora finds that he has gone back to New York and left her. She tracks him down to his Park Avenue apartment. He admits he loves her, but then his father, the lieutenant governor, shows up, followed by Michael's wife, Agnes. The estranged couple are only remaining married to avoid causing a political scandal for Michael's father. Theodora determines to free Michael just as he had done for her. He wants her to hold off until his father's term ends in 2 years, but she is unwilling to wait that long. To that end, she courts publicity by coming out of anonymity and revealing herself as the true Caroline Adams. She is staying in Michael's apartment even though he has moved out to get away from her, and she tells the press of her intention to publish a new book that details finding romance in her small town and searching for someone who will call her baby, a story that mimics her relationship with Michael. Meanwhile, Michael denies to the press that he has even met Theodora before. She finally crashes the governor's ball and arranges for reporters to photograph her embracing Michael. Agnes seeks a divorce to avoid looking like a fool. Theodora returns to Lynnfield, and is warmly welcomed as a celebrity, even by her now supportive aunts. She causes further talk when she brings a newborn baby with her. When Michael, now divorced, sees the child, he tries to flee. But then Theodora reveals that the baby belongs to Rebecca Perry's own secretly married daughter. Cast: radio adaptations. Orson Welles adapted the story for his Mercury Theatre Players for a January 14, 1940 episode of the Campbell Playhouse. with Loretta Young starring as Theodora.